Hello, friends. My name is Tetiana Kalinovska, and I work with transformational practices. I am passionate about self acceptance and inner growth. And this series of interview is my way to bring different voices around the topic You Are Enough. And today I have very special guest who I want you to be introduced to. It's Mark Anastasi. Mark, I'm truly honored to have you here today. So many people know you as successful entrepreneur, speaker, and author. But in this conversation, I really would love to go a bit deeper and to talk about the human behind all the success story.
Thank you very much for your kind words and for inviting me to this interview. Thank you very much, Tanya. I'm delighted to be here. And so this is a topic that's very close to my heart because the history of my family, my father and grandfather on that side, was a story of not being enough and not feeling enough. What feeling enough, what the words I am enough or feeling enough mean to me is it's really about peace, achieving inner peace and a deep inner knowledge that no matter what happens, we are okay, that we're taken care of, that there's a higher power taking care of us, and that even the adversities that occur in our lives are there to serve us, that they are a benefit to us in some way, that every adversity carries the seed of equal or greater good. But what I'd like to share with you is about this journey, what it took for me to reach a place of feeling like I am enough. And it wasn't easy. And it took a long time to get to that place. So that's what I'd love to share today about that topic.
Oh, it will be very powerful. I can feel that. Yeah.
So I want to share with you a little bit about my journey to that, and a bit about my past, because my father grew up in Cyprus before the Turks invaded, and his mother, unfortunately, was an alcoholic, and his father was a gambler, and he grew up without really feeling much love from his mother. She had a lot of problems, both with alcohol and psychological. His father was not present, and so he grew up just feeling like he wasn't enough. And unfortunately, that feeling of I'm not enough, it's like a fractal, it's like a virus. It infects everything. It's like it fractals out into other areas of your life. If you feel that you're not enough, you feel that you don't have enough money. You feel that you don't have enough time. You might feel like you don't have enough sex, or you don't have enough love or opportunity. It just starts seeping into all these other areas of your life. But the core of it is this belief, I'm not enough. So you go out there and you try to prove yourself. I will succeed in business, or I will succeed in my career, or I will succeed romantically. I'll have lots of partners, and then if I have sex with enough people, then I will feel like I'm enough, that I'm loved enough, accepted enough, or something like that. But the core is this feeling of not being enough. And so that's what happened was that in 1990, my father lost his job. And that destroyed his self-confidence even further. Because up until that point, he was doing okay. He was working so hard to prove himself, and he was doing okay. He built a house, he got married, had me and my sisters with 3 kids, and he was well regarded as a successful journalist. And by all accounts, on the outside, it looked like he was doing okay. He was enough. But deep inside of himself, he didn't feel like he was enough. So he sought out other women. He sought out to maybe gamble a little bit, but just a bit, not successfully, unfortunately. He lost his job, and it came to a point where for a few years we had nothing. We had nothing. There were people. The house was put on auction, so people would come up to the house and just look through the house to see, will we put a bid for this house that's on auction? And we were close to losing the house, and I vowed that when I'll grow up, I'll make so much money that I'll never feel like this again. But I grew up with my father always working, not really. My father became a narcissistic, had a narcissistic personality disorder. He felt so bad about himself that he had to survive, for his ego to survive. He flipped it around to only he matters, and everyone is jealous of him. That's why things don't work in his life. And it ended up being that nothing else mattered than him and his work. And we grew up feeling like we weren't important, we weren't enough. We felt like we weren't enough because he didn't feel like he was enough. He wasn't making us feel like we were good enough. And so from the age of 13 to 21, I had a severe depression. I was suicidal most days. And it was only when I was about 21 years old that I started reading some books and materials on personal development, self-confidence, Wayne Dyer's book, Your Erroneous Zones. And when I read that book, I saw, wow, I have all these neurotic patterns of thinking. I feel guilt that I couldn't save my father, couldn't help my mother, that I couldn't help my sisters, that I couldn't save the situation, turn things around. It was a very toxic environment. My parents separated, but still lived in the same house, fighting all the time. I felt that guilt because my parents separated and their marriage broke. Maybe it was my fault. Probably was my fault. I felt like it was because of me, and that I couldn't help them or save them. I felt that yes, not good enough, low self-esteem. I felt all these negative things: guilt, shame, regret. I had bad skin, so I felt I'm unattractive. I felt like a failure. My self-esteem was like minus 200 at that point. When I was about 21, 22, I started reading some books. I started learning more about psychology, and I started modeling what would a healthy psychology, a healthy mindset look like? What would it look like if I had a positive mindset? If I had what would it look like if I were confident? What does a confident person behave like? So I wrote a model. I wrote my new self, the new me. Okay, and I created a model of a confident person. What would they say? How would they act? What would they focus on? What would they never say? What would they never do? What were their habits? What were their habits? What would how were they behaving around other people? And I would write down things like they would give compliments to people. They would uplift others. They would say positive things about other people. They would not talk badly behind their backs about them. They would not tear them down. They would listen to you. They would take an interest in what you're saying. They would feel at peace. When I wrote that model, I realized that I had been doing all the exact opposite of that list. I was saying bad things about people behind their backs. I was hating on people. I was envious of people because I felt so badly about myself, so worthless, that I needed to tear people down so that I could feel a little bit better in that moment. And I started using so now I had a goal. I had a model to aim for. How can I become more of that person? And then I started using affirmations. I am enough. I do enough. I have enough. I love myself. I am lovable. I accept myself. I am good. I am worthy. I deserve this. I am abundant. I would say these affirmations over and over again. And it started shifting a little bit my energy, my frequency. And then I also started watching a lot of comedy videos so that I would be, that I would change my mood. So I would feel in a more positive mood, if you will. Then what else did I do? But basically programming myself in every way possible for I am enough. I'm good enough. Now, later on in life, I would discover spirituality and who we really are. And that would help me in that regard massively. But that was later on in life. In those initial stages, I just needed to realize that a lot of the beliefs that I had 44 limiting beliefs about money and many more limiting beliefs about myself. I realized that when I identified those limiting beliefs, I realized that those were not my beliefs. I had not consciously decided or chosen to believe these negative beliefs about myself. Mm. These had been kind of installed in me from my environment, from my conditioning, from my childhood. And as I looked through these beliefs one by one, I realized that they were not absolutely true. It wasn't exactly true, and I could see where they were coming from, and they were not from me. And that I started having doubts about this negativity, and I realized, well, I'm not good enough. But why? Why do I feel that? Is it true? Well, I haven't really done anything bad. So I started realizing that those beliefs were not true, and I started writing down the opposite belief. I am good enough. And then I started writing down 4 or 5 reasons why this new positive belief is true. Why am I good enough? Well, I've received these compliments. And I was doing quite well at school. And I did this nice thing for this one person once. And I love my family. And as I would write these things down, and then I wrote down things that I'm grateful for, that things that I appreciate about myself, things that are good about myself, things that are basically just started focusing on the positive things in my life and about myself. Again, it started undermining all the negative beliefs that I had about myself. And now I also had like I said, a goal for who I wanted to be, more positive person. And I came across this idea that if you do good for other people, you will start feeling better about yourself as well. So I had this idea that if you do good things, that good things will come back, and that it will uplift you, and you'll feel better if you feel really down and depressed. Just go out and do something nice for somebody else.
Yeah.
At the very least, you'll stop focusing on you and your problems, and you'll be in a better mood, better vibration. And it came to the point where I was 7,000 pounds in debt. I was homeless. I was living with these 8 credit cards. I was homeless and living in an abandoned building, squatting in an abandoned building. There were 20 homeless people in this building in London, and very low self-esteem. But at some point, I decided, you know what? I'm going to turn things around, and I decided I was going to create an ebook to help people with their health. And my aim was just to help 1,000 people. If I can help 1,000 people by giving them this great alternative medicine information, help them change their health, help them teach them something that their doctor doesn't even know about, so never would tell them anything, give them the alternative point of view. If I can just help 1,000 people, then I'll feel satisfied. I'll feel like at least my life on this planet was not in vain. I lived here briefly, messed things up, and hated myself and all that, but at least I've helped 1,000 people, and I can exit knowing that at least I did this one. And to my great surprise, I started making 5 sales a day of that ebook. My business was making $10,000 a month in passive income from selling that ebook. Then I launched another 30 ebooks. I did more than $2 million in sales from this. And that also, the fact that I was helping other people made me feel better about myself. And the fact that I was doing better financially also boosted my self-confidence, of course. And I became a speaker, and I set up a seminar company. And what I found was that the more I was giving of my time as a speaker, or giving my time or giving ebooks even for free, or giving advice or helping, or the more I was helping, the more people I was helping, even when I was doing it completely from a place of just, oh, I love sharing this, let me just share this without any expectation of sales or income. It made me feel better, yes, but also I started receiving more from people: appreciation, acknowledgement, even respect, even sometimes admiration, sometimes love, sometimes gifts, sometimes like all the things that I would, acceptance, recognition, all those things that I was seeking desperately from my father, for example, all those things that I wanted to get. I started receiving them the moment I stopped trying to get, and I came from my heart and started giving from that space. It was a very weird realization to go, the moment I stopped trying to get, but I started to give, and I came from the heart, things changed. And now, with what I've learned around spirituality, I would say that I understand that where we came from, this oneness, this divine, the universe, God, call it what you will, this creator or the universe from which we came from, this consciousness from which we came from, this one consciousness, is pure love, abundance, enoughness, gratitude, peace. That's who we really are. So when you come as closer to that state where you feel that you are enough, that you are good, that you are loving, then you are more in alignment with who you really are. It's like, this is who you really are. And when I went into, I'm not good enough, I hate myself, I am regret, guilt, shame, I was just moving further and further and further away from my true nature. And somehow, and it took 8, 9, 10 years, I moved back to being closer to my true nature by being loving, being giving.
Yeah.
And it was weird. The moment I started focusing on how to help other people with their issues, their problems, how they can be more confident or have better health, or better relationships, more abundance, etc., I started, I wasn't even thinking about my problems. I wasn't constantly in my mind being self-critical and attacking myself and tearing myself apart and criticizing myself for every little thing like I was doing for years. I was just happy, giving, loving, being in that state of flow, really. Um, so that was the first part. And I found something else also, which is that doing what's hard really improved my esteem for myself.
Mm.
So my whole life, I just try to do what's easy and just be on a bit on the outskirts of life and not try anything, not push myself. Just let me just get a job and I'll keep my head down. I'll just get paid, and that didn't work out at all. But I found that when I was disciplined and doing what's hard, whether it's working out or it's waking up early or it's being focused on a task or whatever that means to you, doing something that's hard, difficult. I found that when I was doing things that are difficult and being disciplined, that my esteem for myself came up. So wake up early and go to the gym, or meditate every day, or do some practice every day that's hard for you to do. Swim 80 laps in the pool every day. The more I did that, the more esteem I had for myself, because I was overcoming bad habits or laziness or other negative aspects of my personality, and I was doing what's hard. And I started feeling better. This is something I recommend to anyone who might feel, oh, I want to build my self-esteem and feel like I am enough, is find something that's hard, that stretches you, that forces you to be disciplined. And that's a great way to start having more esteem for yourself. And I should say, do things that are where you come from the heart, where you're loving, where you're contributing in some way, maybe charity, maybe spend time with some children that need some adults or grown-ups or parents around, or something to that effect. Find a way where you can be fully giving of yourself without expecting anything back. And yes, the combination of doing that and the affirmations of I am enough and identifying my limiting beliefs and eliminating them one by one, which took a while. That was the starting point of my journey towards feeling like I am enough. But later on, I found out that there was even deeper levels to go into. So, but that's the next part of what I have to share.
Yeah, it's very powerful, and I can imagine that many people will see themselves in those words. And I remember when first I heard your seminar, it was very strong, and it's really touched my heart, because when I heard your story about being homeless and then to overcome all of this step by step and receive all the abundance, it's wonderful. And I believe that everyone actually can be happy in this world and can receive like everything they want from universe, because or God, or like we say, whoever want to call it, because we all children of this universe, and that's why we already enough just because we come here. It's only our like limited beliefs stopping us from receiving all that abundance. And
I believe that 100%. It's our own mind. It's kind of like the mind is there, our conscious mind is there to help us survive. Our conscious mind is designed to constantly be looking for problems, mistakes, dangers, focus on fears, because it's to help us survive.
Yes.
But our conscious mind is not necessarily our friend when it comes to feeling happy and fulfilled and calm and at peace and feeling like you're enough.
Yeah.
Your mind amplifies all of the fears, all of the doubts, all of the limiting beliefs. This is why meditation is so important. Meditate every day. That is such an amazing gift.
Yeah.
That is why also I recommend to my clients and my students, switch off the TV. Don't read the news. Do not read the news.
Yeah.
They go, oh, but how do I keep informed? Don't worry, you'll be kept informed in this event.
Yeah.
Do not watch the news. Do try as much as possible to not even watch Netflix or television or movies okay, what I like to do, I like watching stand-up comedy. Okay, because with stand-up comedy, you're hearing comedies, it's funny situations, or you hear people making jokes, you're laughing and all these things, but you're not being programmed necessarily with this crime and violence and bad things are happening, and fears and this thing and this bad thing, etc. No, it's like the mind is what the mind is fed. The mind is what the mind is fed. This is a quote from David Schwartz's book, the magic of thinking big. The mind is what the mind is fed. Keep feeding your mind constantly. I am enough. I am enough. It's like have I am enough as your password. Have I am enough on your mirrors, on your fridge, on your laptop, on your screensaver. I'll tell you a tool that I use, which I love. And by all means, use hypnosis and subliminal messages and affirmations to reprogram yourself. I am enough. I have enough. I do enough. By the way, Mark Victor Hansen, he said one of the greatest cures for feeling not enough is say 50 times a day, I am enough, I have enough, I do enough. 50 times a day. Or even I would say do it 3 or 4 times a day, like maybe 15 times each time. Like throughout the day, remind yourself, I am enough, I have enough, I do enough. Do that for 30 days, do that for 40 days, it will change your life. Keep reminding yourself, I am enough, I'm okay, I am enough. Because you will want naturally to give so much more from that space of I am enough. But what I was referring to earlier was this tool that I love, and it's a subliminal tool, and we've just released it. It's something that I used years ago, and it's called Prosperity Power. This Prosperity Power software tool. It's just a little piece of software you install on your computer or your MacBook or your Windows PC or Windows laptop, and we're working on having a version for mobile phones as well. What this software does is you type in your affirmation or a series of affirmations, positive affirmations, or a goal, and this software will flash that on your computer screen every 5 seconds for 1/10 of a second. So it's too fast for your conscious mind or your eye to really, your eye sees it just barely quick for 1/10 of a second. It doesn't have time to read it, but your subconscious mind is actually capturing that information and is being reprogrammed thousands of times a day. So a few years ago, I'll give an example of this.
Yeah.
My suggestion is that you reprogram your mind with these kinds of beliefs that I am enough, I have enough, I do enough, I'm worth it, I deserve it, I'm lovable, I'm important, I'm significant, I like myself, I am enough, I'm confident. Imagine being reprogrammed, reprogramming your subconscious mind, by the way, effortlessly, with no effort of your own, thousands of times a day, with the belief, I love myself, I am enough, I am confident. And so years ago, when I first came across this technology, I downloaded this similar type of software. We now created our own. And I programmed my subconscious mind, started in September. And I programmed my subconscious mind for, I earn £40,000 a month. And it took 4.5 months, but in January of the following year, I had my best month ever in my business. I earned £43,000. And the last sale of £3,000 was a coaching program. It was refunded. And so it landed on exactly £40,000. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I know I programmed myself for 4.5 months with this.
Yeah.
But exactly £40,000, that's too weird of a coincidence. Is it this little piece of software?
Yeah.
And I was so often on my computer, I was spending so many hours a day on my computer, I was reprogramming my subconscious 7,000 times a day. So again, imagine being programmed 7,000 times a day for, I am enough, I love myself, I am good, I am worth it, all of these things. I like myself. I'm confident. And so I earned £40,000 a month, and I was like, this is incredible. It can't be the software. It's a fluke. I know. I'm going to put a crazy goal, something that I don't even believe in. I earn £100,000 a month. Nobody earns £100,000 a month. I've never even heard of anyone earning £100,000 a month. It's impossible. I definitely can't do it. The next month, I earned £150,000 in 2 days.
Wow.
And we did almost £1.2 million that year, £1,160,000, because suddenly that software had changed my identity.
Yeah.
I was no longer an entrepreneur that was content with maybe 15,000 a month or 20,000 a month. My identity was that of an entrepreneur that generates 100 grand a month. It became suddenly part of my what is it called? Part of what I'm comfortable with, my zone of comfort, my comfort zone. That's the expression. It became part of my comfort zone because on a subconscious level, it was okay for me I created that new identity. And the bizarre thing is that even though I didn't believe it consciously, my conscious mind was fighting it.
Yeah.
My subconscious mind, which is way more powerful, was programmed for that new belief, for that new identity. So you can create your new identity with a software tool like Prosperity Power, where you can program yourself thousands of times a day for I'm confident, I love myself, I like myself, I make good decisions, I'm lovable, all of these things. In fact, I would love to work with people and do it as a test, do it as a bit of like a scientific test. Let's take 10, 12 people, 20 people, and let's measure how differently they feel about things by using these subliminal messages, for example.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I think that's a great tool. Hypnosis as well is a great tool, of course. I'll say this about the subliminal software tool, the software tool. It's that I think it works even more powerfully if you take the time to identify your limiting beliefs and eliminate them one by one, and then on top of that, program yourself for positive beliefs.
Yeah.
Right. So what I had to do is I had to identify the positive beliefs, empowering beliefs of millionaires and multimillionaires, wealthy people, successful people, and I had to eliminate the beliefs that I had, negative beliefs. Rich people are bad, and it's not fair that some people have more than all those limiting beliefs that I had. I had to eliminate them, then program myself for something positive. When I did that, that software tool worked incredibly well for me. I recently received a couple of testimonials. This gentleman, Pascal, who was telling me how he in April he programmed himself for earn $10,000 by the end of May, and then in May he did a real estate deal and he got a commission of 38,000 dirham or UAE currency, which was almost exactly $10,000, a bit more than $10,000. And he earned this. He had programmed himself for making by the end of May. And he made on the 17th of May, this commission of $10,000. And this other person who was a laborer, he worked on construction sites in London. He wrote that I think he was earning maybe £2,000 a month. And he programmed himself for earn £10,000 and he made £10,400. It's one of these weird things of how the mind works.
Yeah.
The mind loves repetition. And the mind is designed, it can't help itself. It can't help itself. It's designed to do as it's told. If you're told your whole life you're not good enough, you're not good enough unless you get 100% or straight A's across your report card, you're not good enough unless you whatever.
Yeah.
If your whole life you're told these things, you need to reprogram your mind for positive beliefs over and over again.
Yeah. I would like to also add like something that I'm really then grateful that I know you. So at least I know who already made such sums per month. So it means that I'm closer to the wealth. I'm joking, but it's really not a joke. But because yes, that's true. I heard that quite a few times. That once you like know someone or moving towards like changes in your life, if somebody has something and they close to you, then you will have that as well, or you already have it, but you yet don't know.
For me, I went when I was living in London, I went to one seminar after another, and I kept seeing speakers on stage, even if I wasn't that interested in the topic of what they were talking about. Like, let's say they were talking about options trading. I would still listen to them because every speaker that got on stage told me that, hey, it's okay to be successful. It's okay to be okay with money. It's okay to be a speaker as well. And so I became an international speaker because it felt completely natural to me, because the people that were around me that I was seeing, it was okay for them. So if it's okay for them, it's okay for me too. If it's okay for them to make millions of dollars or pounds or euros a year, it's okay for me as well. And so, yes, it's part of when I said, cut out media. Don't watch negative things. Don't watch the news. Same thing with surround yourself with happy, confident people, happy, confident, successful people. Lately, I would even say I would add to it people who have a high level of consciousness, because different people have different levels of consciousness. And when I look back on my life, I realized that when I felt like I wasn't enough, I was vibrating at such a low frequency, low level of consciousness. And as I started learning more and more about spirituality, started having a higher and higher understanding of things and of life, of divinity, the universe, our world, the more I realized that, why was I beating myself up so much? And here's, I'll share with you a little story, right?
Okay.
So I think I might have it. I have something here. in my notes. So it came to a point in my life around COVID time that I made a lot of money, and then something happened with one of the banks, a bail-in they called it, and the government took 5,000 people's bank accounts. They just took all of them. Anyway, I had to start all over again. All my money was gone, and all of these things. And I really beat myself up about this. And eventually it was okay. I was able to get my money back, but it took a while. But I really beat myself up about this, and I felt worthless. Oh my, what did I get my family into, and all of these kinds of things. And we went through some tough times, and I did recently this course called 1111, the Divine Mindset, and this is channeled information. This has been channeled from the divine to help people heal. And I'm doing week 3 of this 10-week program. I'm listening to this recording. I'm listening to basically this explanation. You sit on a bench in week 3, and you put your hand up like this, and the spirit guide sits opposite you and puts his hand in yours, and you start receiving messages from him, from this very evolved spirit guide. And for some reason, he tells me about that moment. And he said to me, you had to go through this hardship to become the businessman and entrepreneur and man of faith that you are now. We are proud of you. You acquitted yourself of your trials and challenges well. Well done. Have compassion for yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. You chose a difficult path for a reason. We are proud of you. There's nothing wrong with you. Everything is fine. You know you're taken care of. And then he said, you had to go through these challenges and challenging times to become the kind of person, strong yet kind and understanding and compassionate, humble, but with faith, who can stand strong and receive great wealth without being turned by it. These challenging times were a gift we gave you, so have compassion for yourself. Your soul needed to be purified and elevated. Okay? This was your prayers being answered. But the entire time we were there looking after you, making sure that you are safe and taken care of. This was also for your wife's benefit and for your children's benefit, so that they're not spoiled, that they feel gratitude in their hearts instead. And again, they said, we are proud of you. And it was this moment where, because I started feeling guilt and regrets and shame. How did that go? Where now I had to fire all my members of staff, I had to stop my business, etc., etc. And so I had to go again through this process of feeling, okay, even without the money there, I am enough. I have enough. I do enough. There is love. And so it led me to doing 1111. And I received these kinds of messages. These messages that I read out came out over the course of the week. They weren't all at the same time. But, and it showed me, when I was in that space and communing with the divine, and I'm getting these messages, these spiritual messages, I realized that, wow, even those difficult moments are there to help us grow, to bring us to where we're supposed to be. So again, I want to say, don't beat yourself up. Even if you're going through hard times, even if you've gone through challenges, they are there for a reason. You know, Wayne Dyer used to say about how his father walked out on him and his mother the day he was born, I think within a week of him being born. I think maybe even just the same day. And Wayne Dyer said, I imagine that when I was still in heaven as a soul, when I was still in the spirit world as a soul, deciding to come to earth, God asked me, so what do you want to do? And I said, well, I want to teach people how to be self-reliant. And God said, are you sure? Because in order for you to be able to teach people how to be self-reliant, you will need to be in a situation where you are totally alone and abandoned, and you'll have to rely on yourself. He was put into orphanages and all that. So he had to learn how to be okay with himself and to feel like he's enough, and to feel like he is, and to learn how to be self-reliant so you could teach other people. And he says, I imagine that the soul of my father said to me, okay, what I'm going to do is, in this lifetime, I'm going to be the biggest a-hole possible. To you and your mother, I'm going to abandon you out of my love for you and what you want to come to this world to do. And I'm feeling very moved when I'm saying this, because I think of my own father, the path that he went through was a very difficult choice to make, to be in his shoes. But he did it because it forced me and my sisters to go down a path of personal development and spirituality and seeking and understanding that we would have never embarked on that journey if it wasn't for him and him going through this very, very difficult life of not feeling like he's enough. And if it ends up that I've helped a few hundreds of people, maybe tens of people, maybe 1,000 people, help them where they feel like they are enough or they have more than enough, then what a beautiful path and journey and gift that my father was at the source of. So yeah, I thought I'd share that as this conversation is about being enough.
Enough, yes. And yes, I heard that also quite a few times that our soul choose the path that we have to go through before we come to this world. And yes, some people choosing, I think it's much more difficult to choose path when you have to hurt someone to go through all that pain, to be yourself not happy maybe somehow, and then to hurt others so they can go into their path to be good people. So
and it's a big part of this journey of feeling like you're enough is to look back and go, these people that hurt me or this difficult times, what are the benefits from that? What are the benefits? And I got, at least 20 benefits from my father being this narcissistic personality disorder, not present, etc., etc. Lots of benefits from that. Even later on in life with the challenge we had in the business, what I described, there were 23 amazing gifts that came from those times. And so, yes, I believe that the universe is a abundant place and a loving place, and that things happen for our benefit. Even the difficult moments. And like I said, every adversity carries the seed of equal or greater good.
yes.
I've seen this in my life many times.
I actually lately myself working a lot on the accepting good and evil. Let's say we call it like that, but all of that has a purpose to do something greater in this world. And sometime like I remember I heard one story from a lady who used to be my coach, that she said, imagine the nursery and one child who is a bit naughty, a bit pushy, and all the others kind of nice children, and that one child is actually have such a big job to do, because he teach those children boundaries and to stand for themselves from that moment. But some people will take that lesson and will say that, hey, you don't touch me anymore or whatever, and they will learn in nursery. Then others will learn in school, then it's keep going, and there is always that person who teach us boundaries. and they have to exist, and they taking this job to teach us something greater about ourselves. And
and we're all evolving. The whole of humanity and the consciousness of humanity is evolving day by day, year by year, decade by decade. We are actually evolving as a species and raising our consciousness. And that is that's the journey that humanity is on, to raise our consciousness. My feeling is, looking at the difficulties and the challenges in the world, I don't think that technology is going to solve all of humanity's challenges. I think it's consciousness, it's our own evolution towards a more spiritual life that's going to change things. And if you ever listen to Nikola Tesla or research anything about some very weird things about aliens, apparently aliens have come to Earth and have talked about how their technology is based on spiritual technology. I'm not sure exactly how that works or even if it's true, but I feel that is what will push society in the right direction. When we move back to conscious living, conscious management, conscious leadership, conscious government, which we're very far from. And until then, we'll still have wars and strife and famine. But yes, I feel that that's a big part of the solution. And if somebody's watching this and thinking, okay, I'd like to feel like I am enough, I really would advise them to look into spirituality more and understand who they really are at the core. I believe we're a spiritual being that came here to have a human physical experience, but at our core, we are just pure love, pure abundance, more than enough, total peace. That is who we are at our core. We are more than enough. Well, I would definitely tell myself to relax and to stop beating yourself up and to enjoy the day, and that everything is fine. But that's definitely the message I would give to my younger self. Um, I would say to focus on what's good in your life, to feel grateful every day, because I didn't. Every day I focus on everything we didn't have and what was wrong. And yeah, the mind is what the mind is fed. You what you focus on expands. So
Yeah.
focus on what's good, what you're grateful for, and more of that will come into your life.
Yeah, it's wonderful. And I guess this message will go not only to you younger, but to many people who will listen to this conversation. And Mark, I'm so grateful for your time, for everything you shared with us today. And I'm really sure that a lot of people will want to connect with you and will want to know more about what you do and all the work you do. If you could share where they can find you, it will be
Great.
wonderful.
That's great. And I think I give away an ebook around self-confidence, or I give away 15 of my books and ebooks at mark-anastasi.com. So www.mark-anastasi.com, which is Google Mark Anastasi. And so on my website, I give away quite a few resources. And I think that would be a great place to start.
Okay, it's wonderful. And again, thank you so much for your time and for you being you.
Thank you, Tanya. Thank you for being you. Thank you for this interview and this opportunity to share. And I'm looking forward to anybody who has any questions or needs any help. I'd love to have a conversation with you.
Thank you, Mark. And thank you for everyone who listened to us today.